What's going on, everybody? Almost Counts Collectibles here, and in this video we are going to be modifying an original 1993 Power Morpher into a green and a white Ranger Power Morpher. Now the way we're going to accomplish that is, much like in our previous Morpher video, we are going to fully disassemble this Power Morpher. We're going to give it a good cleaning. We're going to strip it of all of the original decals that are peeling off anyway. And we are going to give the bottom and top faceplates a custom paint job. So for the green and white Ranger Morpher, we're actually going to go with a gold color. We are also going to be applying a front and back complete set of BD1593 Power Morpher decals. Now on the first Morpher video that we did not do the rear decals, mainly because it was going to be for a display anyway, and it was just a quick custom restoration job. But for this particular Morpher, I went ahead and purchased the whole set, mainly just so you guys can see it if you were interested in doing it at all. So we're going to apply the front and the back and take a look at what it looks like when it's all said and done. With this particular Morpher, I'm also very excited to be adding an actual toy version of the original Green Ranger coin. Now, they never released a Green Ranger Power coin with the Dragon Zord 8-inch Green Ranger 2-pack like they did with the Tiger Zord and 8-inch White Ranger. That particular coin is right here. Now, you will notice that the White Ranger coin that we received is not a show-accurate coin. It is not a direct interpretation or replica of the one used in the show. It actually looks like a tiger, which I actually kind of liked. I never really minded that. I think it's a pretty cool piece. And I finally was able to find someone who makes a Green Ranger Power coin that looks like the actual dragon emblem on the Green Ranger, the original flip head Green Ranger tattoo, and his chest emblem on the toy. So we are going to have a matching Green Ranger coin that directly reflects mainly the toy line to go with our White Ranger coin. So I was really excited to pick this up. I really wanted to go with one of these simply because, you know, the old tattoo and everything on the actual Green Ranger well, you know, was not the emblem that it should have been. It should have been of the like dragon paw or footprint, whatever you want to refer to it as, like the actual show version of the green power coin. But we're going to go ahead with the actual dragon power coin. We're going to give this a custom paint job, and we're going to use it to display with our custom Green Ranger Morpher. Now, this particular item was purchased from Tim Bree 3D. I will leave a link down to it below in the description. We also did a video. We purchased the Lightning Collection line custom Phantom Ranger blaster to go with our custom Phantom Ranger. So I went ahead and picked this up from Tim Bree 3D as well. Now we're going to take it out of here and we're going to see if it fits in there. It's supposed to fit inside the Morpher. With these 3D prints, you never know if it's going to be a perfect fit or not. Hopefully it's pretty close. We'll check it out. Maybe we'll need to modify it. But let's go ahead and get this out of the bag and actually try it in our Morpher to see if it's actually going to work or not. So let's take our White Ranger coin out. It looks like, let's just go ahead and do a quick comparison. So it looks like it's very, very close to being the exact same size as the original coin. It's just the little ridges don't stick out quite as far. It looks like this original coin is just a tiny bit bigger, which is a little concerning because we want it to fit. The little tabs actually line up quite well though. So we'll see. Let's drop it in the Morpher and check it out. All right, goes in, it turns. All right, but it's pretty loose and it's actually not clipping into place. The size of it isn't bad. All right, let's see what's going on here and see if we can modify this. I want it to fit in there pretty well. I'd like it to clip into place. I'm trying to figure out exactly where the issue is. The tabs look the same size. Oh, okay, I think I see the issue. So the tabs on our custom coin are not quite, let me line this up so you guys can see it. They're not quite as thick. These are just a tad bit thicker, like in height, and these are a little bit skinnier. So that's probably why there isn't enough pressure between it, enough, you know, plastic between it, so it actually slides over that little red knob in there and clips it into place. There's too much play, so it's just kind of, it's hovering right above it. I think I can actually fix this. So what we're gonna do to see if that's actually the issue, which I think it is, before we paint this, we are gonna take some super glue and put on the tops. I don't wanna put it on the bottom. I wanna leave all this flush. But we're gonna put some super glue on the top of these tabs and let it dry to kind of thicken it up a little bit. If I have to, I'll sand it down just a little bit. But once we get the desired depth with the dried super glue on top of these, we can clean it up or even it out if we have to, and then just paint over it. So we can actually add some thickness to this. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that. I'm gonna grab some super glue, and we'll see if we can get this to fit inside of there nice and snug and clip into place. Once we do, we'll move on with our disassembly, our cleaning, and our paint. Now for this particular video, we are not going to do an in-depth explanation and look at the inside of the morpher, cleaning the morpher, the ins and outs of how it works. If you want to know all of that stuff or see what you're getting yourself into with taking one of these apart, check out my first 93 morpher resto custom. It's a custom restoration. I mean, a full-on restoration would be restoring it to exactly how it was pretty much, but it was a custom restoration job to get it to look like an original morpher, but obviously we changed it, the decals and everything, and the paint is a different color. But if you want to get a good in-depth look of what you're getting yourself into, the wiring, how the springs work, how it goes back together if you get lost, check out that first morpher video. For this particular one, I'm going to kind of speed through that stuff so we can get to the final result and what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and try to fix this power coin, and we'll see if we can get it going. So all I've done is taken some of the gel super glue so it doesn't run everywhere, and it actually you know, will come out in a little bit of depth and actually sit there. I put some nice big beads on each one of these tabs. So we're gonna let this dry, and then we're gonna see how close we are. I might need to sand them down a little bit to clean them up a little bit, and so on and so forth. But if we can get it to fit nice and snug and actually clip into place, then I'll make sure it's cleaned up a little bit, and we'll go ahead and paint the power coin, get it ready to go, and we will begin on the morpher. All right, so we have our super glue on our little tabs to kind of thicken it up, and make sure that this dries before you try to fit it on there, or you might accidentally super glue your power coin into your morpher. So just give it plenty of time to dry. I've waited several hours before coming back and trying this out. So we're gonna go ahead and stick this in the morpher and see if the added thickness to these tabs gets rid of all that looseness that we had and helps lock this into place. So let's go ahead and drop our power coin into our morpher here. All right, so I'm getting a lot of resistance. The coin isn't moving around at all, so it definitely helped. Let's go ahead and, all right, yep, it actually snapped into place. So our power coin here is no longer moving. There's no movement. I mean, even the regular little power coins move a tiny bit when they're in there, even though they lock into place. But that added thickness to these tabs completely solved our issue of it just wiggling around and being really loose. So we are good to go in that aspect. Everything is nice and tight, and it's not going anywhere. So when this is actually completed, I don't know if I actually pointed this out in the last video. I know I described which one of these was the top and the bottom for reassembly, but on these original 93 morphers, they actually applied these stickers upside down. So in order to hold this upright so it reads Mighty Morphin Power Rangers just like so, you have to actually hold the morpher upside down. The red little activation button is on the wrong side, and this is actually upside down. It should be held like this with the little battery cover actually facing up so that you can actually hold this and press the button, you know, like you're supposed to. But they put these stickers on upside down. So when we fixed the last one, when we were reassembling, I actually put the correct stickers on the correct plate. So you have to hold it the correct way. But I don't know why they did that. They did it on all of them. So the same thing for this one. When we reassemble this and get it all cleaned up and painted and the new decals put on, the decals will actually be in the correct facing position. So you will actually hold the morpher like this now. And the power coin is a simple fix. You just put it in the correct way as well, and it still snaps into place. So we were able to fix the power coin. It fits nice and snug in there. Perfect little fit. We're going to go ahead and get this painted up. And we're going to go ahead, disassemble, clean, get our brackets painted, and get our new decals on there for our green and white Ranger Morpher. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and start disassembly of our Power Morpher. Now, we've got some cleaning up to do. We actually have, I know exactly what this was. So this was one of those double adhesive little squares. I'm assuming someone actually tried to wear this as a little belt buckle or over a belt when they were playing around with it. So we're going to get all this cleaned up. We're going to clean out the inside, get these plates taken off of here, cleaned up, stripped of their original decals, and paint them and get our morpher put back together. So we're going to go ahead and start disassembly and get this thing to where we need it to be. All right, everybody, we are almost finished with our green and white Ranger Power Morpher. Before we put the last of the decals on that are going to cover up some of these screws, we're going to put some fresh batteries in here, make sure everything's working properly. And then we're going to put the face plates back on, make sure the opening function and the spring and everything is still working well. And then we'll finish up by putting the final decals on, just to make sure we don't have to take any of these screws out and poke a hole through our stickers. All right, everything seems to be working well. The lights are lighting up. The speaker is working as well as it can for an old 90s speaker. And the spring seems to have good spring tension to open up the morpher. So everything looks good. We're going to go ahead and put the battery cover back on. We will get the plates back on, give it one final test just to be sure, and then finish with our decals on the back to cover up these actual screws. So let's go ahead and finish up. All right, everybody, we are almost finished with our modification. So we just grabbed our power coin from the paint booth. Now, if you want to go with the traditional look of the reflective chrome gold to try to make it match the other power coins, you can. I don't really like the reflective gold chrome. In fact, I might actually custom paint a set of my original power coins that I have, because I think they're just way too shiny and it takes away from the detail of the actual coin. So I went with more of a darker, dingier, vintage gold look. To get this particular look, I actually went over it with 2 good coats of a vintage gold color and then a light coat of pure gold. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with this. I am not going with the reflective gold chrome. We are going to go ahead and insert our power coin into our Green Ranger Morpher here. All right, and it fits in there very nice and snug. Pretty happy with the look. Now, this is a 3D printed coin, so it's very hard to get some of these surfaces completely smooth. Ideally, the dragon would have been a little bit more smooth, whereas the area around him would have had a little bit of rough detail to it, kind of like the original power coins. But I'm very happy with this. After our quick little glue modification to make it thicker, it fits in there very snug, very well. It even clips into place. And we have a custom Green Ranger Power Morpher with a custom original toy line Green Ranger Power coin. So let's go ahead and activate this. All right, and everything is working out fantastic. We have our actual emblems here on the back, all of our stickers, to include our one right here on the handle. This cleaned up very well. The inside of this wasn't really that dirty, mainly just the decals, and it just needed a good wipe down. We did have to get rid of that sticky pad that was on the back, but it cleaned up pretty well. And one of the terminals was very corroded, but it actually flaked off pretty easily. So that is our Green Ranger / White Ranger Morpher. We can still put our White Ranger Power coin in there for that more traditional coin look until I modify it. But I do have one that will stay chrome and one I will probably modify. So that has been our quick video of how to accomplish this quick little modification. If you have a morpher that's in decent shape, it's really not that hard or time consuming. Just make sure your glue properly dries before you try to fit it in there if you do go this route, and make sure your paint is afforded the opportunity to dry. If you're going to use this for any kind of cosplay, or you're actively going to be touching it and using it, I highly suggest going over the face plates after you paint them with a good clear coat. But if it's simply just going to be a display piece and you're hardly ever going to touch it, there's really no need for that clear coat. Just afford your paint the opportunity to dry and you should be just fine. I will leave a link down in the description below for everything that I use to accomplish this task. Other than the basic tools, of course, you will need a cross-point screwdriver and maybe possibly some Goo Gone or something to get the old decals off. But they're really not that bad. Once you scrape them off, just wipe them down with a little wet one or something like that, and the adhesive should come off fairly easily. But if you want to speed it up, by all means use some of that Goo Gone. But the paint that I use, the link to the decals, and the link to get your hands on one of these custom Timbri 3D toy line power coins for the Green Ranger, I will leave all that down in the description below for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, I will see you next video.